go through this Desmos and really, I'm going to go through the Desmos. You go through the Edpuzzle and understand what's going on as we go through each part of this problem. You're going to have your books out, please. Let's go ahead and solve this. I'm going to ask you what the answer is beforehand, and then you're going to go ahead and check your work and how you did it. Okay? All right. Go ahead and all you did there was distribute. Right? We're good to go there. Then we have to think of like terms, and we've done so much of this. And if you're still struggling a little bit, try to catch on to this the best you can. All right, I have 12x plus 10 equals 22. Every color is a different step. Subtract 10, I bring down to 12x equals 12. Well, that's pretty easy to finish up. Divide 12. What times 12 equals 12? It's 1, okay? So the answer was 1, and I really want you to understand too, like this you can do on your own by doing all the work, but I don't know if you've been told, like if I said A was x equals 1 and B was maybe x equals 3. And then there was C and D too, but what you could also do, and I'm just trying to help those that maybe do still struggle with equation skills, you could plug this in and just see if it works. And what do I mean by that? You could take if A and B, guys, if you have A, B, and C and D, you know the answer's in front of you. You know it's there. So go ahead and try to plug your answers in. If you don't know what to do, plug your answers in. Now, how do you do that? Well, you take your x. Aren't you trying to figure out what x is? So could you put 1 in the spot? If you think A is the answer, could you put 1 there? So what's 4 times 1? 4. Finish the parenthesis. It says plus 2, right? So you get 6. All right. Was that the rest of the parenthesis? Yeah. Wasn't the 3 on the outside? Right. So you get 18. All of this would equal 18 if you were plugging it in. Then you go add 4 equals 22. This would be 22. Does 22 equal 22? That's how you know you have the right answer, is when both sides equal each other. So there's another way to figure this out. Again, 1 was your answer. If you wanted to plug in the 1 to see if it works, you could do that if it's multiple choice. Now, that's not what I suggest. I want you to do the work and distribute and combine the terms, but if you had to, it's okay. Okay, this one has 2 sets of distribution. You can do that. And then there also is some like terms. All right, don't forget about the like terms. So first step, let's go ahead and handle our distributive property. 3 times, isn't this a 1c? Isn't there a 1 in front of that? What's 3 times 1? 3. 3c, right? 3 times 1 is 3, so it becomes 3c. 3 times 2, 6. 5 times 1 is 5. C. 5 times the other one is 5 minus 8c. I'm just going to bring this down, okay? Now, do you see like terms? Those two are like terms. You can go ahead and combine those. This side doesn't change at all. There's nothing to do here. But these two terms become positive 5 and negative 8. If you're doing the math right, you're going to get negative 3, right? You subtract 8 and 5 and you keep the sign negative. If you were struggling with that, plug that in a calculator. If you were struggling with these two and combining, plug that in a calculator. 5 minus 8 would have given you negative 3. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add 3. Now, some people may think, oh, this is going to be no solution or infinite. No, that's a negative 3. That's not the same as a positive, so they're not the same variables. So you're going to get 6c plus 6 equals 5. Subtract 6. I'm going to get 6c equals negative 1. Hold up, I jumped ahead there. Equals negative 1. Where did I get negative 1? Right here. Now, how do I finish it off? What times 6? You got to divide the 6. This is a good answer to know that, hey, sometimes your answers are not going to be pretty. Sometimes your answers will be negative, and sometimes they'll be a fraction. In this case, it's both. It's a negative fraction. Okay? All right, next problem. Oof. Okay. Look at the word on the top. It just says to simplify. So what I want to do right now, I'm going to do just that. So I'm going to try to get fancy. Look what I'm going to do right here. Ooh, hold up. Hold up. I gotta go back to the student version here. Oh, why am I on this? Hold up. Yeah. This one. My bad. I chose the wrong one. We're good. We're good. I take that. There we go. Put that there. I'm going to go ahead and go here. Scientific calculator. I know I kind of messed this up here a little bit. Let's see if I can try this one more time. What if I did this way? There we go. Why is it doing that? Okay, there we go. Best we can. So it took a little bit, but all I wanted to do is show you the comparison of how to use the calculator here. Now, hopefully you saw this part. It just said simplify. Do you see an equal sign in here at all? No, neither do I. So what are you supposed to do? I have a 1/5 x. You see this x here, and then I have a 2/5 x. Doesn't that make sense to combine these two terms? Combine like terms, combine, add like terms. So you're not going to put x into the calculator, but you are going to put the 1/2. Let me see if I can pull this up. 1/2 plus 2, and I can hit the division sign too. And I get 0.9. Do you guys see this math here? 1/2 plus 2/5. I can do that. I'm allowed to do that with the calculator. And guess what I'm going to do here? 0.9. Both of this equals 0.9x. I'm allowed to do that. Plus 2. And there we go. Hopefully you paid attention to that. You're going to use the same calculator when you take the benchmark next week. Right? So now let me show you something. Snap. This is a little different. Have we just done this step? We just did this step. It's a little different. It's a -2. I think the last problem was +2. But do we know what 1, 2? Oh, hold up. It's not the same. Look at it. It's 1/2. What's different here? There's 1/5. So let me change that to 1/5. And look what I get. Okay. 0.7. Super important to see that. 0.7x. Okay. -2 equals, I wish I could write this a little cleaner, equals. Now, I'm still going to put this as 1/10x. That's not a big deal. We're okay. And I'm going to put the x in the middle plus 4. But what you're supposed to do now, if you remember what Beyonce said, if you're in my Mr. Bruce's class, we played Beyonce and said letters to the left. Your letters need to go to the left. So we need to go ahead and move our 1/10 over by subtracting it. So now you're going to have to do this math right here. Guess what? You can still use a calculator. 0.7, 0.7. What happened? Hold on. 0.7, right? Minus, do you guys see what I did there? It was 0.7 minus 1/10. Fraction 1/10. And look what I got. You guys see what I'm doing here? I was able to use a decimal and a fraction into the calculator. That's perfect. That's great. So now I get 0.6x. Why is it still x? Because this is what's happening. We're bringing these letters to the left, and now we got to put those numbers to the right. So now I'm going to go ahead and add 2 to this side, and I'm going to get 6. All right. So for now, just keep paying attention. I'm going to erase everything. But what's left? You should realize this. This is left. This came crossed out, and this is left. So when I erase everything, I have 0.6x equals 6. If you saw that, it should be in your notebook. That's great. How do you finish this off? You should divide 0.6. Is this a tough problem? Yes. Is it able to get through the calculator? For sure, and you probably have multiple choices too, so don't freak out on this. That cancels out. What is 6 divided by 0.6? Excuse me. Look what 10. So what is x equal in this problem? 10. I lost room to work with because I split screened it, but hopefully you realized what happened. Through all of this work here, I went through and got rid of all this. If you saw what happened here, all of this happened, and then we had this left and 6. And then we got there. We got our answer of 10. Okay. Next problem. Okay, super simple. Use your calculator again. 1 divided by 5. And look what I'm going to have to do. This cursor is still next to the 5. That's not good enough. It has to be in the middle here. Because if I start typing like times, now I'm multiplying the bottom. That doesn't work. I want to multiply the whole fraction. So what you have to do is scoot it over 1. So I'm going to go up here. That's what it needs to do. It can't be next to the 5. If you hit to the right, it hits the cursor over to the right. Then you can multiply. That's what it should look like. 1/5 times 40. This jump right here equals 8. Don't forget the W. It's going to be plus because it's a positive sign. And the next problem is going to be 1/5. Oh, we messed up there. 1/5 times 30. What do we get? 6. Okay, super important that you get that there. All right. Then from there, that's all we had to do for this problem. It just said to simplify. You guys see it up here? Just to simplify. Use your calculator to simplify. The next problem, you're going to have to step it up. Let's go. We've done this in class so many times. Multiply. Your first step. I wish this wasn't so late. 1 divided by 4. Oops. Too many fractions. I've done that too many times too. 1/4 times 28. How did I do that? I took this problem, I went 1/4 times 28. 7m. Okay. Then I'm going to go 1/4 times 4. And if you look at my calculator and what I'm doing, you can do the same thing. And that equals plus 1. Then I'm going to add 6m equals 144. Okay. Now from here, make sure you remember 13m plus 1 equals 144. Keep going, subtract 1. 13m equals 143. How do you get 13 out of there? How do you cancel 13 out? You have to divide, and your final answer will be whatever this equals. So let's go ahead and plug that in. What's that going to be? 143 divided by 13. And we get 11. M equals 11. All right. You got this. Okay, we did that one in class, and we're going to skip that one. What about this? If we go through this one, we're going to get 5x. Everyone should see that distribution. And then a 5x plus 15. Have we talked about this enough? What happens when both sides are the same? All right, if you were to solve this all the way through, this is what you would get. 0x equals 0. Okay? You got this. You can do this. All right, last problem. I'm going to go main screen on this one. This problem is difficult, and it's the last problem on your benchmark, and I want you to stay with me on this one and just focus on the sense that all you have to do is look at your answers to try to get through this. All right? Here's the deal. Renata and East Whittier donated a total, so combined, of $190. So when you add both these up together, it equals 109. Okay. Now, Granada donated $36 more than East Whittier. So how much did East Whittier actually donate? Okay, so here's the deal. How much was it total? 190? So what can you do? You want to know how much East Whittier donated. Granada donated more. So this is kind of a tough problem, but if you look at this problem, if hold on, let's just try the first problem. If it's 77, right? If you think East Whittier donated 77, if that's true, how much did Granada donate? 77 plus 36, right? That's what you're telling me, because you're telling me that Granada donated 36 more dollars than East Whittier. So if you do the math here, and maybe I do want to pull the calculator up, but I can do this in my head. I have 77 and 36, 13. That's going to be, what's that going to be? 113. Is that going to work? If I have 113 more here, let's take a look at this again. Hold on one second. So you're telling me East Whittier did 113. All right, hold on. So that was what happened, 77. And then East Whittier was 113. Is that going to be the number we're looking for? That's 180. Well, hold up. No, that's 190. That's what we want. So that's what we're looking for. Isn't it going to work? So it's going to be here, and it's going to be 190. So it actually does end up working out. So this problem, you just got to kind of plug in your answers again. It's difficult, but I want you to do the best you can to try to solve this. A is your answer. Can we just try B to see if it wasn't? I actually thought B was the answer, but I was wrong when I looked at it before. So if you're thinking B is the answer, that means East Whittier donated 65 bucks. Okay. What's the whole total again? 190, right? And this is, you're saying this is East Whittier. Let's figure out Granada. So this is East Whittier. Granada would be that plus another 36. So this would be 11. That would be 101. That's not what we're looking for, okay? So I don't think I explained this well enough. Again, the total is 190. This answer is correct. How do we know? We're saying this is East Whittier, right? So Granada did $36 more. So if I add 36 to this is what we're going to figure out what Granada actually donated. We're going to get 113, okay? So you're telling me now Granada is 113, East Whittier is 77. Does that actually make it 190? And it does. It actually ends up equaling the magic number of 190. So to solve this problem, it's the last problem on your benchmark. You have to just plug in your answers. It's difficult. You got to struggle through it, but I know you guys are capable of it. All right. Best of luck. We'll have the benchmark starting Monday and Tuesday of next week.